Hey guys, this is Maji from Maji Toots. I'm excited because today we're going to talk about two of the most popular ad platforms out there, which are EZOIC and Mediavine. I currently use both of these platforms and I'm very happy with both of them. However, there are definitely some advantages that are offered by EZOIC and also some advantages that are offered by Mediavine. However, both of these platforms, they also come with some problems and they also have some disadvantages. So today I would like to show you exactly what these ad networks offer and what they don't. So first let's talk about the advantages of EZOIC, especially with regards or in comparison with Mediavine. So one thing about the ad platform EZOIC, a big advantage of EZOIC is that actually it's much easier to get approved than it is with Mediavine. One big reason for that is that if you have a website that is not written in English, you can still get approved pretty easily with EZOIC. The only requirement here is that you have at least 25,000 page views per month. If you have that, if you have a German website or a French website or whatever, or a website in Italian, chances are that you will get approved with EZOIC. Which is awesome because, quite honestly, if you're coming from, let's say, Google AdSense and you're suddenly going to change to EZOIC or embed your AdSense inside of EZOIC and also use other ad companies, you will definitely going to earn more than just with Google AdSense. That's something I can almost guarantee you guys. So that is the first advantage that EZOIC has over Mediavine. It is easier to get approved and you can get inside of EZOIC even if you don't have an English website. With Mediavine, if your website is not in English, you will have a very hard time to get approved, or in most cases it's going to be virtually impossible to get inside of Mediavine. There you have it, the first advantage of EZOIC over Mediavine. The second one that EZOIC has over Mediavine is that you actually have much more control over your ads. So first of all, when you are implementing the ads on your website, let me just open one of my websites here, my blog about languages, Linguaholic. You will see that here on my website I have a lot of ad placeholders, and those are actually ad placeholders from EZOIC. And whenever you are going to implement ads with EZOIC, you can use the Google Chrome extension from EZOIC to do so. And with that extension, I can manually set up all the ads just like I want them on the website. So I can use the extension and I can create several ad placeholders, which will allow me to preview how the ads are gonna look like on the website. And you can change the ad size. You can change the ad sizes here, and you can adjust, you can say where the ad is positioned on the website. If it's an ad for desktop, for tablet, or for mobile, you can even put some top, bottom, left, and right margins here, center the ads, and so on and so forth. So you have complete control over where your ads are going to show on your website, which is really, really cool. But it's not that easy to do. You will need some time to get that done perfectly. But if that is something that you're interested in, I also have another tutorial about how to set up EZOIC placeholders. That's definitely a video you would like to, you should check if that's what you're going to do. So there you have it. This is another big advantage that EZOIC has over Mediavine, because with Mediavine, they will actually place the ads for you on your website. and you only have minimal control over that. They are going to choose the ad locations and so on and so forth. And with EZOIC, it's much more manual, which, if you are tech savvy and like to do these kind of things, can be a big advantage because you have more control over it. Another thing that you have with EZOIC is you have a lot of apps that you can use along with the network or the platform. And with those apps, you will have more features and even more control over your ads. For example, you can choose some sub pages where you don't want to serve ads, or you can disable ads for certain sub pages. You can set a maximum for different sub pages. Maybe on one page you only have 300 words, so you don't want to show more than three ads, for example. You can put a cap on the amount of ads that are served on sub pages, basically on every page of your website. You have a site speed app to speed up your website, and many more. I can show you guys here in the App Store. There's so many apps you can use to customize the ads, or if you want to have a PWA version of your website, you can just install an app for that, and 10 minutes later you will be able to serve your website as a PWA as well. Which is really nice if you need these kind of things. So that was another advantage that EZOIC has over Mediavine. With Mediavine, you never have that kind of amount of things that you can do, and you just have much less control over your ads in general. The biggest advantage that EZOIC has over Mediavine, in my opinion, is that EZOIC comes with amazing big data analytics software. And this software is kind of like Google Analytics, but it's even more complex and will give you a lot of information about your website, how your website is doing, how many visitors you have, how your ads are performing, and how much revenue you got during the last few days or months or even years, which is extremely useful because it allows you to see, for example, how much every of your pages earns. So here, if I go to content, then on landing pages, for instance, I will see all my individual posts on my website here, and I can see exactly how many visits, page views that page had, and I can immediately see here how much revenue I got from that page. And I can see that for every sub page. That is extremely useful. And I can also see some metrics like ePMV, bounce rate, and so on and so forth. To have these kind of analytics is extremely useful for several reasons. For example, it will also help you to create new content because you can easily see which posts are performing well, and then you can create something a little bit similar. Moreover, you can do things like you can go into audience here, location, and you will see how many visitors from each country that you have on your website, and also how much you earned from them. That's another extremely valuable information because you can see here, for example, that visitors from the US had about 5,000 visits. That got me $60. And I had 2,700 visitors from the Philippines, and that only gained me $6.40. So you can easily see like which countries will be better for revenue, and then you can, in the future you can focus more on, let's say, the US market, because you will know that traffic from the US will just simply get you much more money. That is a very valuable info to have, for sure. I could talk about this for another 2 hours. There are many metrics and a lot of nice information that you can get out of these reports here. But that's the biggest advantage that EZOIC has over Mediavine, because there basically you have nothing about statistics. The only thing that you will see there is Mediavine is going to show you just a list with your best performing posts. But you don't even see how much each of those has earned you in terms of revenue. You will just see a list with like 10 or 15 best posts that earned the most money, but with absolutely no details and nothing. So when it comes to statistics, EZOIC is miles away from Mediavine for sure. Another advantage is that EZOIC is obviously AI based, so it's based on artificial intelligence, which means that the platform is getting better and better, and your ads will perform better and better the longer you have them on your website. So if you have a lot of ad placeholders, EZOIC is constantly optimizing and searching for the best combinations, and they only serve the best ads to the customers, and they take into account that every customer or every visitor is different, and they will serve them different ads based on the customers, on the visitors' behavior, which is amazing and is something that other ad platforms usually can't give you. Those are already the most important advantages that EZOIC has over Mediavine, in my opinion. One last thing that EZOIC has is they have a premium program, which is invite only, but if you have been with EZOIC for some time, they will maybe invite you for the program, which will allow you to have some premium advertisers on your website, and that will earn you even more money. This is like a subscription that you have to pay every month, but so up to now, every month I earned more with that than I had to pay, and there are different levels. Depending on how much you earn every month, you will be able to enter like higher levels of that premium membership. But that can definitely be lucrative as well. And you just need to hope that sooner or later EZOIC is going to invite you for the premium program. I also have a video just for EZOIC Premium, so if that is something that you're interested in, just check my channel, and there you will find a video about EZOIC Premium. So now that we have talked about all those advantages that EZOIC has over Mediavine, let's also talk about the disadvantages. There's not that much to say here, in my opinion, but one big point for me is the speed. My experience is really that EZOIC drastically slows down your website, and you will have to take some sacrifice in terms of website speed. They do offer some applications, like the site speed application here, that will help you to make the speed better again. However, it didn't really work out very well for me. But there is a new version now, and a lot of people are saying that in their case it really helped them to speed the website up again. But generally speaking, having ads on your website will always make your website much slower. But with Mediavine, I have to say that the website speed overall was still much faster than when I had ads on EZOIC. So there, I really think that Mediavine has the edge over EZOIC in terms of website speed. The second disadvantage that EZOIC has over Mediavine, in my opinion, is that the support, I feel, is a little bit less professional than with Mediavine. In some cases, I haven't been very happy with the answers that I got from EZOIC, and they're really trying to push you hard to put all the settings exactly like they want you to have them. You do have a lot of options and apps and stuff, but they're always pushing you to change stuff, and sometimes I feel it's a little bit forced. And they introduced some new features as well sometimes, and it was sometimes, for me, was not very transparent what they did, and suddenly on my website they had some ads running that I didn't even know existed, and I wasn't happy with that, and I wrote them like, what kind of ad is that on my website? And they said, we introduced a new feature, and now we also have this kind of adaptive ads and stuff, but I didn't even want that in the first place, so that was a little bit weird. But in general, this is not too bad, but I feel with Mediavine these kind of things are a little bit more professional, and the support there is very helpful, and they also have like good coders, and if you have a problem you can tell them, and they can help you even coding some stuff for you, which is something that EZOIC won't do, so they don't offer that. They offer support like 24/7 almost, but they're not going to code something for you if you have a problem. They will try to help you with some easy tasks, but when it gets more complicated, it's more limited than with Mediavine. That said, I still think that EZOIC is an amazing ad network. And if you just have Google AdSense installed on your website, you should definitely check out EZOIC and switch to EZOIC and embed Google AdSense. Inside of EZOIC, and this will help you to improve your revenue drastically. In my case, I earned about 200% more since I've been using EZOIC on my website. I will leave the link to EZOIC in the description, so if you want to sign up for EZOIC, please click on that link. That will get you on the EZOIC website, and there you can sign up for the service. So that's about it about EZOIC, the advantages and the disadvantages, and next we are going to talk a little bit more in detail about Mediavine. We have seen all the advantages and the disadvantages of EZOIC, so now it's time to talk about Mediavine. First of all, I also want to talk about the requirements that Mediavine has, that you can actually join their ad network or their ad platform. It's pretty similar to EZOIC these days, so what Mediavine requires you to have at the moment is 25,000 sessions a month. So rather than relying on page views, Mediavine counts on sessions. And if you have 25 page views, you probably have less than 25,000 sessions. However, the difference is not that big. But that's something to keep in mind, and you can easily check that in your Google Analytics. If you do want to check that, what you can do is you can simply go to Acquisition Overview. And there you will see the sessions here. But you will have to change that to 30 days because this is obviously for 30 days and not for 1 week. So here in 1 month I had 47,900 sessions. So with that website here I could easily join Mediavine. Apart from that, one thing that is completely different than with EZOIC is that that Mediavine actually demands to have exclusive access to both your mobile and desktop ad inventory. What that means we will talk about when we talk about the disadvantages of Mediavine. But first of all, let's talk about the advantages. So, if you get approved by Mediavine, one thing that is great and can be seen as an advantage is the fact that Mediavine will do everything for you. So they have a dedicated team and coders that will take care of your website, and you will have to give them access to your website and they will set everything up for you. And that can definitely be an advantage if you're not very tech savvy or if you just don't have the time to implement everything by yourself. It can be very nice to have some professionals who will actually do this job for you. Some people like that, some other people won't like that. But if you're the kind of guy who would like others to take care of that, then Mediavine is definitely an amazing ad network. And they do a very good job. I can show you my website that is on Mediavine, it's carryonbaggage.com. And here you can see a lot of different ads. Just a second, please, it's loading. For example, here you have that horizontal sticky ad, which you also get with EZOIC, for example. And here a nice ad in the sidebar. Suddenly my screen is very dark. I don't really know what's happening here. Just a second, please, guys. This happens once in a while, so now it's back. It's okay again. So here you have a nice ad in the sidebar. Here we have a sticky ad. It looks pretty similar to the setup that I also have on my website that I have on EZOIC. So all the ads that you can see here in this layout, Mediavine will take care of that, and they will make the adjustments and they will make sure that the ads are responsive, both on the desktop device but also on mobiles. And to be honest, if you are not sure what you're doing while setting up ads, this can help you a lot and can actually save you a lot of time. I spent hours and hours on EZOIC and on improving the ad placements and everything, but I also enjoy that. But if you don't enjoy that and you solely want to focus on content, then you're better going with Mediavine, because they will do all of that for you. So that's the first and biggest advantage, in my opinion. For people who don't want to do all that tech stuff, they should feel very comfortable with Mediavine, and they do an excellent job with that as well. Another great thing about Mediavine, in my opinion, is the community and the support. First of all, there is a Facebook group with Mediavine publishers that you can use, and you can ask questions there and get answers, which is really nice, like a little family. And that's a great thing about Mediavine. And something else is also, if you are unhappy with some ad placements, or if you see that there's a mistake or something, you can simply tell them and they will figure out how to solve the problem, and they do so very quickly and in a very professional way. Moreover, they don't really reach out to you very often and annoy you with stuff. With EZOIC, they often write you about when you do a change on your website. They're going to reach out and ask you why you did that, and it's not always very pleasant. Like they're trying to help, but sometimes it's a little bit on the exaggerated side, in my opinion. So Mediavine is much more conservative in this regard, and if there's nothing special going on with your website, they're not going to bother you with stuff. So that is another advantage, I would say, when it comes to Mediavine. Now that are already the big benefits or the big advantages that Mediavine has over EZOIC. And I would also like to talk a little bit about the disadvantages that Mediavine has in comparison with EZOIC. The first big disadvantage that Mediavine has when compared to EZOIC, in my humble opinion, is that they won't give you statistics. So all the layout here, all the stuff that I have with the ads, will probably earn me a lot of money, and I can earn well with Mediavine, no question. But I don't really know how that revenue comes about. So I can give you a view here from my dashboard here. Here you can see my earnings. I earn around $200 to $250 a month, which is not that much because I just have a small site here on Mediavine, and they pay every month basically. But in the beginning, when you join, they only pay after 3 or 4 months. So for the first payment, you will need to wait for quite a long time. But after that, it's safe to say that they will pay like clockwork, and there are no problems at all. So don't worry about that. Just in the beginning, it can be a little bit tight if you don't have a lot of savings and you need to wait for 3 months for those ad payments. So that can be a little bit difficult. When it comes to reporting and statistics, it's very minimal. So all you get basically is what you can see here. You get a summary. You see how much you earned, how many sessions you had, and your RPM, so the earnings per 1,000 visitors, per 1,000 sessions. Here on the left side, you can see the daily revenue for the last month basically. Now in November, it's always pretty good. Like you can get quite a lot of money compared to other months because there are big days like Black Friday and Cyber Monday, for instance. You will also get display by ad unit here, so you can see a split up of the different ad types, and you can see that, for example, in my case here, the mobile in-content ads was responsible for 43.2% of my revenue. Or maybe this is just, not even sure if that's really the part for the revenue. Maybe it's also just like how many, from 100%, how many percent were like mobile in-content ads. However, one more thing that you can see is by device, how your RPM by device. That's nice to know. So I get for 1,000 visitors or 1,000 sessions, I get $9 on mobile devices, and on desktop devices I almost get $16. That's pretty normal because usually desktop always earns better than mobile. The problem is just, the sad thing is just that 60-70% or even more is from mobile these days for most websites, so that's a pity, obviously. And the last thing, or the only real thing that you get for the statistics, like a breakdown for the different pages, is here you can see the list of top earning pages. So you just get that here, a list of like your 10 top performing pages, and I'm not even sure if those top pages here are giving you the 10 most earning pages, or maybe just in terms of view, because here it's just written view. So basically you have almost no statistics about the individual earnings of the different sub pages. So statistically speaking, you don't get a lot of tools, and you can't, it's like almost impossible to gain a lot from those. You don't gain a lot of insights, so based on that it will be difficult to come up with new content, because with EZOIC we have seen that those statistics can help you to see which posts perform well, and it will give you some ideas about new posts that you could do in the same category, for example. So you don't really have this kind of data with Mediavine, so that is a big problem in my opinion. Like I would love to know like which pages are doing well, and I would like to have more data, just like with EZOIC. So that's definitely a big disadvantage in my opinion. Another one is that it is actually very hard to get into Mediavine in the first place. One thing that I noticed is that if your website is not in English, it will be very difficult for you to get approved with Mediavine. Most probably they are going to turn down your invitation, your request. Like, it's not like you can't apply if you have a website that is not in English, but I tried with several websites and I heard from others that tried that. And even though some of my websites, they had a lot of traffic, I'm talking about 50 to 100,000 people a month, they just wouldn't approve me. And that is a pity. So if your website is not in English, you will have a hard time, and most probably they're going to refuse to add you to their ad network. So it's much more limited to websites that are in English. And not only that, you will need to have a majority of your traffic needs to be US traffic. So even if your content is written in English, but maybe you have a lot of traffic from India, let's say you have 80% of traffic from India, then maybe Mediavine will also not approve you. That is actually the same with other ad networks as well. Like another excellent ad network is AdThrive, which needs like 100,000 page views, and I will review that in another video. But there as well, you need a lot of US traffic to get into that ad network or ad platform. And that brings us to the last disadvantage, in my humble opinion, of Mediavine, and that is that Mediavine is actually an exclusive ad network. So what does that mean? That means that if you are with EZOIC, you're not allowed to have ads from other ad networks on your website. And that is quite a big disadvantage, because if you're with EZOIC, you could very well still apply for other ad networks if they're not already partnering with EZOIC, and you can also have those ads in addition on your website. There's no contract that you need to follow. You don't have to ask EZOIC for that. You can just implement whatever you want. And with Mediavine, you are just simply gonna be with Mediavine, and you have to sign a contract, and you will have to stick with Mediavine for the period of the contract. And during that time, it's absolutely exclusive. You won't be able to put ads from any other partner, from any other ad network on your website. If you do that, it's a breach of the contract, and you will get disqualified most probably. So that said, that is also something that you should keep in mind if you're going with Mediavine. So to sum things up, I think that both EZOIC and Mediavine are excellent ad platforms. And if you're just running with Google AdSense at the moment, I would definitely recommend you to check out either EZOIC or Mediavine. If you're tech savvy and you like to experiment by yourself and implement ads and see how they do, and try to optimize the ads, and you love to play with apps and have a lot of tools at your hands, then I would definitely recommend you to register with EZOIC. On the other hand, if you solely wanna focus on content and just write without dealing too much about those technical things, and implementing ads, and seeing that all the ads are responsive on all the different devices, I would highly recommend you to go with Mediavine, because they will do all that work for you, and they do an excellent job doing that. And in this case, I think Mediavine is just simply the better choice for you. With that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe and hit the bell, the notification bell. That would really mean a lot to me. And I hope to see you soon in another video. I will do a lot more videos about ad networks and give some more advice how you can have high performing ads on your website, and how you can optimize the setup and so on. And I'm sure you will find a few useful videos on my channel when it comes to ads and monetization of your website. Have a nice day. Was nice to talk to you, and see you soon in another video. Bye, guys.